So, welcome everyone to one of our Luxoft technology series. Today we have a live podcast with the topic the Scrum Dream Team, together with two of our colleagues, Victoria Pysarenko and Rafael Braga. So, before jumping into the session, I would like to just let you know how this podcast will work. As you know, you can see two main buttons on the bottom of your screen where you can ask any question or even chat with the rest of the attendees. So please don't be shy. Our colleagues are here to answer any question you might have and also to explain you how they are usually working here and so on. So also something that is very important to remind you, please stay tuned until the end of this event because at the end we are going to have a quiz related to Agile. This quiz is very simple. It's only 5 questions. And at the end, the winner is going to win a €40 Amazon gift card. All right. So now, Victoria, Rafael, please, this is all yours.
Thank
Hi
you.
there.
Hi everyone. So,
Hi everyone.
uh, Victoria, do you want to start introducing yourself? I guess ladies first, right?
Ladies first. Okay, ladies first approach. So, hello everyone. My name is Victoria, and I'm originally from Ukraine, and here in Germany. So, I'm sitting now in Munich. I'm already more than 3 years, and together with Luxoft, I'm 5.5 years. I am certified Scrum Master and Agile Coach, Project Manager. So have a lot of experience and everything is relative in this life. But I have something to share, and we work with Rafael together with some projects. So I think this evening will be interesting.
Very nice. Okay, so let me introduce now. So my name is Rafael. Working at Luxoft for 2.5 years and working with project management for let's say 12 years or so, but in more agile way for 8 years. So I have some experience already with this. I also have the SAFe certification.
Mm-hmm.
And as Victoria mentioned, we are full of projects here, always or mostly working with some agile methodologies, Scrum, Kanban, and so on. But today's main topic is this Scrum Dream Team. So the idea is that let's start with the basics, right? Starting a bit like how is the team composition, or how we can set up a good team and so on, and then we can speak about some challenges that we face in our day.
I agree, because we don't know who is the audience, and just to make sure that everyone is on the same page, let's start with basics.
Okay, then good. So let's start with about the team formation, right? So can you, Victoria, quickly explain what is the standard formation of a Scrum team? And then also which kind of deviations we usually find in our projects or in our industry?
So according to Scrum Guide, there is a Bible in our Scrum world. So for Scrum framework, this is Scrum Guide. And according to this, we have Scrum Master, Product Owner, and developers. From November 2020, it's not a development team, it's developers, so that we are all Scrum team, one team, without sub-teams inside. But I agree that when you work in consultancy, there is quite often project manager instead of Scrum Master, or project manager together with Scrum Master, and product owner who is on the side of the client. And then this a bit breaks the idea that everyone is equal, is on the same page, because even sometimes legal issues, that you are not allowed to say that somebody is on sick leave until the person allows officially. And then you agree about something with your product owner, and next day you say, the person is not available, which is ridiculous, right? So where is the person? And then, so sometimes we have some issues like this.
Yeah.
And these issues we already started to predict in advance and agree with the guys. Then, like, if you seek, if it's fine for you to share, just do it. If it doesn't break your feeling, how you feel about that, to share this. But if everything is fine, just do it, because otherwise we have this weird situation.
Mm-hmm.
And on another.
Sorry to stop you, but maybe can you talk a bit more about the situation where, so what is the standard that we have more? So from my perspective, usually in the projects that we are having today, in many cases we have the PO in the customer side, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes we have a proxy PO and sometimes not. So how is that? Can you explain a bit more about the situation when we have a PO and what is this? How is the challenges in this case? And when it's good to have a proxy PO and maybe when it's not necessary. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I have my own opinion. I will share. Maybe you add. Maybe you have another perspective. So it is quite necessary to follow the Scrum framework. So the approach. And of course, it will be unique for each project, for each team, with unique story points and so on. But there are some practices, events, artifacts, and roles, and we have to follow that. Scrum is a framework. It's just some frames, just super easy, lightweighted. But anyway, you have to do something. And sometimes people on customer side, these product owners, they are very good in their role, and they are like super cool product owners, and we can estimate in something, in story points, in even vegetables. So like super creative approach how to estimate, and it works, which is the most important, to deliver. Actually, we are working to deliver the stuff, the software. And sometimes people are not aware about the role, and then it's of course important to provide some introduction, maybe workshop, training, something, to explain. But sometimes people are maybe not willing, or maybe super overloaded with another stuff, with stakeholders on their side, with management, to show the progress, to make presentations, live something, demos, whatever events. And then there is no time to just work in Jira, create tickets, there is some concept to work on, but these super specific details, like there is no time for that. And in this situation, this proxy product owner is a good solution, in my humble opinion, just because this person acts as a right hand, creates everything, but then the product owner on the client side is still officially responsible for that and the decision maker. And then we just align on that, but we save a lot of time. This is my experience. What about you?
But I have very similar, to be honest. So in the end, we have the situation. So from my experience, we have the situation because, of course, in the end, the customer wants to be in control of the project.
Yes,
their product
sure.
Develop, and they have to have someone on their side. And sometimes they call it product owner. Sometimes they give different names as well. But it's the person who is in charge, right? But sometimes, as you mentioned, and I completely agree, they are responsible for multiple projects in parallel. They might be lacking time for creating these user stories. Or sometimes there are also cases where, they don't play completely the product owner role because maybe they are not aware as well how to do it because they are there. So it's just a role, right? A position naming, but they are not playing that role as expected in the Scrum, like describing the user stories in the way the team needs and so on. And then it's our job to try to facilitate this. So talk with them, explain to them what is the basics and the foundations and the groundings and how to do it. And then it's our role from the customer side to talk with them, explain to them what is a good approach, and if we can solve this somehow, right?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Good. And just one more question about that. So at least in our projects, I guess in many cases, we have Scrum Master also playing the role as project manager, right? in many cases, I guess, at least from my perspective, from my
I also call myself agile project manager. So
what is this? Can you explain a bit more? What is agile project manager? Yes,
exactly. So when you're a project manager, you can be project manager in multiple, so in super different methodologies. So it can be absence of methodology. I'm just doing some stuff, random stuff, and running around and just screaming on someone. It can be waterfall, it can be whatever. So it can be different approaches. You can work in, I don't know, Microsoft project, and you can do different stuff. So what I mean by agile, so the background, the basic stuff is still Scrum. And you're actually, or I feel myself as a Scrum Master, facilitating events when needed, growing the team, motivating, communicating with everyone, gathering everyone together, taking care that Scrum works. And in addition, on top of that, I take care about invoices, hiring, project manager interviews. So it's some additional stuff on top of that. But it's like not instead of, but together with. So that's why I call it agile project manager, because and sometimes you have somebody working on Scrum, somebody on Kanban, then you are not it's not Scrum, then agile, like agile methodology is wider and includes different frameworks. Then
very nice definition. Maybe I should my role as well.
No, I don't play.
Good, but then let me go to the next question, still regarding the Scrum team. So in Scrum, theoretically, you don't have like a lead position in the team, right? What do you think about that? So do you think we usually need, for example, especially for, let's say, the technical people in the team, do we need a technical or a team lead? And if yes, how we should define it?
So now I have to make a step back and to say about my background. So I'm a psychologist. I have a master's degree in psychology. And the point is, even if you don't do it officially, the group will find the leader automatically, always. There are a lot of experiments of on a rat, when you have a group of 7 rats and there will be a leader, somebody will bring food, somebody will whatever. So and people are the same. We are social, and we will split into somebody who will lead and act and facilitate, and somebody who will just listen to and follow somehow. So it's done automatically. So I'm not against technical leader, and I would say openly, like I'm even willing to have him or her, because it's just easier. Yes, the point is, like, again, according to Scrum or to Scrum Guide, there is no other titles than developer in the team. Why I think this is implemented? Because otherwise we can say, like, you are just somebody, I don't know, just a QA or just junior or just somebody, and this just, you're like not like us, not good enough, and then we don't listen to your opinion, we don't listen to your estimation or to something you bring into the conversation. This is of course bad. And then there is no other name, only developer. But still, together with that, if we don't have this technical leader who can make the final decision, sometimes, team is like 50-50, yes or no. And, like there is, it's already close to conflict, and then somebody should take this final, let's do like that. And then take this technical consequence of this decision, and be able to explain to others and protect your technical decision. So what is your experience with that?
So I am more or less in the same line as you. So usually I also like to have someone with this role, even if it's not official. But for me, so ideally it should come naturally, right? So you realize who is the person with the skills to be a lead and take decisions and so on. But sometimes we try to rely on that And even if the person which is more skilled, I mean, he doesn't want to play this role sometimes, so he doesn't want to be the final decision maker.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And sometimes we have conflicting opinions. So sometimes we have two leads and they don't agree with each other. And then it's a constant fight and it's hard to get sometimes an agreement.
I had all the situation you are now describing. So
Yeah.
both, like no leader, nobody wants to be, and both like two leaders, like two people, three opinions. So yeah, everything is possible. Yeah.
From my experience, the best experiences I had, I always had someone as a team lead or tech lead position in the team, right? Someone who was in the end like taking the responsibility to him and saying, we will go this direction. I mean, of course you have to hear everyone's opinion, but that must be some decision maker there who is usually more experienced than the others. Saying this is the right way to go.
Yeah, I agree. And it's important to like not to bring it too artificial, like this guy, the random guy, from the street, he will be leading, and then it doesn't work sometimes. But the point is, it's very important not to have a dictator in the team, because we are still in Scrum, so it's not army. It's not like the division and the head of division and you report to me and I tell you what to do. This is super important that this guy is a leader, not a boss. It's the very thin line boundary between this, and when person says, no, I told and you only like I told, that, this is the end of Scrum, end of discussion.
I guess we will reach this point in the discussion. But okay, then let's jump to next question, still related to the team itself. So team formation or team setup. So do you think that the team size can influence the final results? So according to the Scrum guide, right? Before it was like from 3 to 9 people. Today we have this, they changed a bit and they say max 10. But what do you think about that? So more is more or less is more? Also,
it of course depends. Like the point is, less than 3 there is no point, because like 2 people what to do. They will self-organize, just sit together work. But then 10 together with Scrum Master and Product Owner, because sometimes Scrum Master or Product, it's just a role. You can be developer and Product Owner, or developer and Scrum Master, and then that's why they say like all together. It doesn't matter how you split these roles, they all together 10 maximum. For me, I would say that somewhere in the middle, not like 3, but maybe 6, 7 people would be enough. I mean, when it's 10 people, they will automatically split into 2 subgroups. It's usually because it's difficult to work all together simultaneously, and then you go here to this part of the room and work together or whatever, when you are on the call, and automatically there is some split, maybe to 2, 3 subgroups. So when it's 6, 7 people, then it's just easier, and usually that's just my experience, let's say.
If the team is growing too much, like up to 10 or even sometimes even more, right? Even though Scrum Guide is saying the opposite, sometimes you can face the situations. It's much better to split in 2 different teams, right? And you say, hey, let's stop here. Let's have different teams. Because as you said, usually we have the situation where they are internally like breaking down stuff and breaking 2 smaller teams. So it's better to officialize this somehow.
Yes, exactly.
Have 2 different teams working with 2 different features, technologies, whatever. So because they
you can synchronize anyway. So make some Scrum of Scrum, these safe features, which we have. We can use some practices out of that, right? Just to simplify communication.
Very good. So I am also in this opinion that 6, 7, it's the ideal situation. Much
7-ish.
If you say 8, for me it's already, guys, maybe too much. So of course it depends on the project, the situation, but I have this impression as well. Okay, so let's pretend that we have sorted out a new Scrum team. So we are starting a new project. We just put together a new Scrum team. Then What you, Victoria? What do you do in day one?
Day one,
Yeah.
gather together, bring candies and cake. But seriously, it works. So usually everyone likes something, some gathering. If it's of course offline now, or this Corona setup of working from home doesn't bring additional team spirit, but yeah, everything is possible. So we don't have anything. We have to organize the team. Team has usual this formation phases. So. It's building, yeah, so gathering together, so forming, then storming, norming, performing, yeah, and then so when we just gather, the goal of leader is to explain the goal, values, and try to help to know each other and who is stronger in what, and go further to the next storming phase when everyone, maybe there are some conflicts, and so nobody likes it, of course, but this is reality. It cannot be without it. So on the day one, what I would do, of course, gather together, explain what's going on. So we need some kickoff, right? Session, who is doing what, some organizational stuff, about vacations, about how we work together, what is Scrum, so maybe some workshop, and also together to talk what is our goal, what are our values, do we do fast or we do with good quality, because it brings absolutely different spirit to the mood, to the team, different mood, yeah. Just fast, do somehow, yeah, or we do in a proper way. So this brings a lot. So you set up this to be, and you lead people to that to be. So how we work, when, who is doing what, maybe create this page for team alignments, agreements, set up some chat, and so on. And probably maybe before day one, you have to, on day 0 or -1, you have to discuss with management and with customer and see the documents and agreements, just to understand who wants what, yeah, who wants, and so expectations of other stakeholders. It's not only you and the team, not only you and the company.
So would you say that in the first day, the most important thing is to align expectation?
Yeah, and to share this expectation, because everyone will have something. So somebody will, it's usually typical like that. Somebody goes just to earn money, somebody goes to build the spaceship. So it depends, yeah, on motivation, and then just to understand who wants what. Somebody needs power, somebody, it depends, but just to see who and how, and then how to gather and align.
Yeah, okay. And would you start with that's a different question. So would you start with a one-to-one meeting, so talking with each one of them, or would you start with a group meeting, like with everyone? So how would be your approach in the first day?
Usually I start with group meeting.
Okay.
So just to say hello to everyone, and yeah, but honestly, usually I started when, I also started. So usually it's easier, of course, when you are physically in the office. Then you indeed have a cake or something to share, to drink coffee together, to go for lunch, and then you know each other better and easier and faster. In online setup, it's a bit less easy, let's say, not that easy, but still you can organize some session, say, yeah, hello everyone, and then maybe do some creative exercises, or just to share who is whom. And I mean, it's also important to bring not informal spirit, like I'm playing the piano, I'm singing, who is doing what, let's go hiking, let's do something, because we are not only working together, yeah, it's like communication, and everything is based on our personalities. Then who are you then? Yeah.
Okay.
But personal meetings are important, but a bit later. I don't know, how do you do this? It's interesting for me.
So I also usually, so I would start always with a group meeting to put everyone on the same page, because you also, I mean, yeah. So if it's a big project as well, so sometimes there is more than one Scrum team as well. So as a project manager perspective, I would talk first with everyone and then go with one-to-ones. But I would try to do all of this in the first week. So have one-to-ones. At least with, so if I'm not talking about a single Scrum team, because then of course it's easier, because then it's up to 10 max. But if you have a big project with 40 people, then I would talk at least with the key people in the first week, put everyone in the same page, and then then keep at least a monthly or at least monthly one-to-one with the guys.
Yeah, I agree. And it's always so interesting that people act in a group in a different way and say something in a group, and then you talk with them one-to-one and they acting and saying something different, like in another way, without this pressure or communication. I don't know how it works. It's a bit of magic, but together system works always in a different way, comparing to one part of the system. So, I mean, one part is a person, and system is the team, and it's always interesting. I think we have a question. Have you seen? Or
that's what I was seeing. So there is a question from Isaac. And the question is, if we take as true that there is no proper project leader, how do you take important decisions? Is there something like a final word, or that's the project owner position, or what happens in that cases?
There is no project lead. From which perspective? There is no Scrum Master, there is no project manager, or it means there is no technical leader?
Yeah, I guess he's talking about the technical leader. So if there is, I guess so, right? Tech lead, exactly.
Tech lead, okay, good.
So who takes the final word if there is not such position in the team? So what happens in such cases?
Oh, it's a good question. Sometimes customer side is very proactive and product owner is very proactive. Sometimes it depends. Actual technical decisions are always up to developers, right? Always. It's like nobody can say how to do it. So what to do, yes, it's up to product owner what to do, but how, it's always for developers. But when we don't have this final do like this, so like my typical approach is to write down all the solutions and advantages, disadvantages. So super simple table, approach number 1, approach number 2, and then advantages, disadvantages. And then you calculate, but like weighted average, let's say, numbers of this or that, because sometimes it's 3 pluses minus 1 minus, but this 1 minus is so big that it's heavier than those pluses, advantages, and then you just simply decide like in democratical way. Actually, Scrum is about democracy, I would say that. Yes, even there is no this monarch, Tsar, or somebody dictator. Yeah, sometimes if there is no this person, nobody will die. So democracy usually defines the solution, but it should be somehow in a structured way. So it's not only because anyway, somebody will be a bit stronger from technical perspective, and then this guy or girl will say, I think it should be like that, and the other will just repeat, yeah, like that. And just because they are lazy or they don't want to have all of this conversation, they don't want to have conflict, so this is then the approach of Scrum Master to say, no, let's write down everything, advantages, disadvantages, and discuss in a proper way, not just let it be something, because then this.
We can also do some voting, right? So
there
are such, so we have 2 ways we can do, like Victoria said, write pros and cons. And then let's say, guys, let's vote. And usually we should not vote like, what is your vote? And then what is your vote? You should write it down in a paper or so that people can really express their opinion without being influenced by someone else.
Like Scrum poker, right? You do 1, 2, 3, and you show ready, steady, go. Yeah, you show all together so that not to influence opinion of each other. This is important.
Yeah, exactly. I hope we reply to your question.
I also hope so.
Okay. And guys, if you have more questions, as mentioned at the beginning, please feel free to write in the chat or in the queue as well. There is this QA session there. You can also write it there. So both ways work. Or you can raise your hand if you want to speak. So let's continue then. Okay, that's different perspective. So how can you recognize you have a productive team from the very beginning? How would you do that?
From the very beginning, first day of work, you cannot recognize it, I guess. I think it's about the results. Actually, the Scrum is about results, and the whole Agile manifest is the working product is more important than documentation and other stuff. The working product. So if we take some commitment, so set up sprint goal and plan something, and then we achieve this commitment, then we are successful, right? All together as a team. So it's like the Scrum is actually from rugby, right? So it's like soccer team, rugby team, doesn't matter. This is important, like to have, if we are talking about KPIs, key performance indicators, it's important to have this for the whole team and achievements of the whole team. Otherwise, it will break the team spirit. And then like achievement of sprint goal, story points which we planned to take and then which we indeed delivered. This is important. But like hours of code or lines of code or hours of work, like
doesn't work. Doesn't work. Agree. We have actually 2 more questions in the QA, so let's try to get
if they are related.
Let's see. So I'm just reading them now. So first one from Pratik. So what are the best practices to follow by an agile team in remote working structure? So different location, different time zones, different cultures.
There's so many questions altogether, different cultures and so on.
So that's I can take this one. So I mean, it's also something we are not even in different locations, right? Because today we have this Corona crazy story, and even though
sitting
we are
in one city,
close, so it's also about remote working. But I would say important thing from my perspective is to it's try to keep the team together, right? So the communication should flow, because one of the biggest mistakes, let's say, of flawless of the working from home, it's like not having good communication. So the more you can communicate, so keep the team together, like keep like a chat somewhere, like in your your tools for chatting, whatever you use, and keep like the team together there. And also whenever it's possible, making pair programming or together, make code review together as well, so that somehow you keep your team working together as they could work in the office. So that's some of the things I would do. I don't know if you have something, Victoria, you would like to add?
I agree. So unfortunately, it gets, let's say, more difficult when you work remotely. You don't feel people, you don't see them, don't feel the spirit. People don't motivate each other. I'm personally missing these lunches together and the small talk around coffee machine and so on, somewhere in the kitchen. And yes, probably like 1 year ago, we set up a lot of additional meetings, like but then it doesn't work like that. It should be natural. When you just meet and you spend 1 second going, hey, hello, what's up? It's much more natural than we set up half an hour meeting and let's discuss something, coffee machine, whatever. It's a bit too artificial, but for sure, I agree that additional calls to share screen and show how I made this decision pull request or something, or I cannot do something, let's take a look together. This is important because usually you would do it just by asking somebody, hey, could you please come to my screen and let's take a look together. But when you cannot do this, let's set up a call, official one, so that everyone knows that at 2 p.m. we meet and then we have this time. If it's not needed, let's cancel it. Yeah. But at least we have this time slot so that everyone can receive and get and receive support.
Yeah. And I think, again, key for me is still communication, right? So if you have, for example, working in different time zones, it's already very challenging, right? So especially if you have 5, 6, 7 hours of difference. So
after 5 hours.
Is working, so if someone is working on something, they have to at least keep the team updated of the progress, right? So write a comment in the ticket or come to the daily, explain in details. But I guess this kind of, it's challenging, of course, but I guess communication is key. And one thing also to bring team together, and many people are a bit against it, but it's sharing your video, right? So
yes, it's so important.
Yeah,
everyone is against because you have to look somehow nice and everyone is lazy.
Exactly, but good. So because now we are getting a lot of questions, so let's get one more now and then continue with our script here, and then we go back to the questions. So let's go to the next. So there is one from Marco. As to develop software, it's better to estimate the user stories in a meeting all together, or let it for the developers alone to estimate alone. So it's better to have everyone estimating or just developers. I can take this one as well. If you don't mind, but
sprint planning is specifically for that.
But from my perspective, and I had this in the past, right? I can say from my previous experience, it was very good for me to be together with the team estimating, because when they are estimating, it's when they are discussing usually, and then you are there for two things: one, contribute with the discussions, and also to understand the solution they are proposing, right? So and then you get much more into that topic, and you get more knowledge as well. You can share your knowledge with them, and then if you are not there, sometimes they have a question, no one is there to reply, and then so from my perspective, if it's possible, I would just put everyone together and estimate together.
And you have a question. Whom would you ask the question? Of course, product owner, because product owner brings the idea. Yeah, you have to implement this and that. I don't know, personal profile with some drop down, some menus, and then you have question how to implement this, that. You have that just business questions. Yeah, then you ask product owner, and then you are already together. And the point is, why Scrum Master should be there? First, because product owner can influence the estimation and say, come on, 5, I would do it myself for 3. It doesn't matter story points or days or hours. 5, no, like 2 maximum. I will do it. And then he or she is pushing, and then team is okay, we are losers, we have to say less because you see he says it or she says it's so easy and we are just stupid, we cannot. And no, it's just a person pressing so that to receive more. It doesn't work, of course, nobody will be able to deliver it, but anyways, there is pressure, and then in the end, you took it and you don't deliver, you are a bit. This is first. And second, if we remove this and developers know what to do, they understand they don't need even a product owner, they will estimate themselves. There is another problem. Somebody in the team who will again influence the decision and estimation, like some senior guy who will say something like, it's easy, a piece of cake, it's just like 1 hour of work, guys, it's nothing to do, what are you talking, 3 days, what are you talking? And then everyone is, especially if you have juniors in the team, it's just a bit shame to say that, like, for me it's not 3, it's 33, and then because of people are shy, they just agree like, yeah, okay, let's put one, and then nobody can deliver this, but what we have, the fail in the end. So you are there not to control it, not because you are so important, but just to regulate that everything works according to the idea that we are equal, that everyone estimates in the same time, not to influence the opinion of another person in the team. Then it works as it should work. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Let's go further. I think we ran out of time.
Yeah, we have lots of questions. So let's take, let's say 3-4 more questions from our list here, and then we can switch to the questions because it will need more time in the end. Okay. So, so question. I guess we are going to a bit more challenging one. So is it true that teams should be 100% self-organized?
Team self-organized. I mean, this is the way. This is the way to go. And self-organized should be the team, the Scrum team together. So it's like the unique, unit, which together can everything. It's a cross-functional team. Then you can deliver end-to-end, everything together, self-organized, so that nobody, management or chief executive officer, nobody can say like do this or that and this or another way. We are, we can manage it ourselves. Yes, self-organized, self-managed team. And this is the way to go. So this idea that it will somehow happen, no, it's like you're raising kids, you are raising teams. So we all need this facilitation, input. Some people are already, maybe they had experience from the past. They are already 10 years in agile environment, and they are willing to take responsibility to themselves. Some people are not. And they are like, you just tell me what to do, I will do. And you're like, but this doesn't work like that.
Exactly. So I also would say that ideally should be self-organized, and ideally people should get this feeling or motivation to help each other, right? Because if something is not working, so if you are not delivering, it's not an individual that is not delivering. In the end, the company is looking for the result of the company or the product or the Scrum team. So if someone is struggling, let's help this guy. And also the other way around, right? So I also had very good experiences with teams like where there was a very strong tech lead. And even though I am completely not like a tech lead, but I could take over his position when he was in vacation to support the rest of the team. And when I was in vacation, he was taking my position to also talk with the customer and so on. So this is the kind of situation which means like we are self-organized and we can help each other, and we don't need, of course, if it's external support is needed, we can open for external support. Of course, no one is saying, oh, this is our Scrum team and no one can touch us. No. But that's the kind of motivation I would expect from a Scrum team.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so let's go to let's go to 2 more questions, otherwise we will
let's do.
So first 2 from our questions, and then we go for all Q&A here that we can take for this time. So one of them is what to do when you have a team member, when a team member is having a bad performance. So what to do? Someone is not delivering, is always getting stuck, all sprints, and he's not delivering the story points that we planned. So what to do with this guy?
Yeah, it depends on the attitude of the person, and you have to understand why. So in general, sometimes some people are, they 5 times per day drinking coffee and smoking somewhere and talking to guys, and then there is no time to work, or it's just temporarily. So sometimes it happens that there are some troubles in family. So we had this situation, like it's life. Like mom has cancer. Well, what can you do? Like it's not something which is usual. Of course, person is is here physically, but mentally with all his thoughts, he was somewhere there. And of course, just please take vacation, just do whatever you have to do in this situation, right? But so first of all, you set up one-to-one meeting, person face-to-face, and then you discuss like what are the reasons. So I see that you are not, maybe not performing, but not that active recently, and you try to politely address this topic. And to understand, the person says like, yeah, something happened or happened, or maybe it's divorcing. Maybe like I had everything which is possible. I had in my experience, and yeah, of course, in some situations, people they're just sitting with tears in eyes, like I cannot right now. Yeah, but sometimes it's like, what? Everything is fine. I am working. That guy is working even less than me. Why you are not talking? And then, then let's talk about that. Yeah. So it depends heavily on the attitude. If person doesn't want to work, then you, even though I'm super against it, but then you have to set up some personal KPIs, like to see indeed how much time you in general work in front of the PC, yeah? And what you do, what you deliver, what you bring. And then it's difficult to measure because sometimes you, especially for technical leaders, they go from table to table, help with this guy and that guy, and they don't have any tickets assigned on them, but they actually participated everywhere. Yeah. So if you just withdraw the report from Jira, you will not see, you will see 0 story points or 0 user stories. But in reality, this is the most important person, yeah, because he or she helped everyone. So yeah, this should be, you have to take a look precisely on this, not just to calculate some numbers, because it can be not objective measurement. But yeah, then we can discuss like, no, according to our standards, yeah, we as a company have some standards and let's achieve this and that. Otherwise, we will have some measures.
Yeah, I would say
some measures means like.
But I would say that sometimes it's even not the person's fault, it's our fault as project managers. So why? Because sometimes the person is not aligned with your expectation, right? Sometimes you didn't make it very clear for him. And sometimes when you make it clear, you might realize as well that either he has other expectations completely different from yours, and then he doesn't has the same vision as you have, like what we need to achieve and so on. So for example, we as we already discussed at the beginning, we want to achieve maybe quality or speed, and for him it's not clear, and that's why he's doing something wrong, right? And sometimes he also doesn't have the skills. When you tell him or her what you want to achieve, he will say, but I don't know what to do, how to do this in this way. And then you say, okay, so it's maybe our fault and not the person's fault. And then then maybe we have to put you in another project or in another stream here, or change a bit the role, whatever.
I agree. So I now describe the opposite situation, like the range of 0 and 100, the complete opposite extremes. But of course, sometimes it's just because person indeed needs support. Maybe a mentor is needed, a buddy, or some training, additional, whatever, something in addition, just some more knowledge, support, and then person will deliver. So not everyone is just have like not everyone has bad attitude and like against their work, but just probably need support. And we have to start like, how can I support you? How can I help?
Yep. So let's go for some more questions here from our attendees. So let's go here with this one. So how we can manage to understand? Okay, so how can we manage to understand and record the technical requirement without having a technical background? So question from Ina.
Why do we need to record it as a Scrum Master? Product owner should do it. I mean, this is important. Yeah, that's why this is crucial difference. Like
Yep.
project manager can do everything. In some setup, project manager communicates with customer, then writes down everything, creates tasks and everything. In Scrum, we have absolutely different setup. We started from that. We have product owner, Scrum master, and developers. And who writes these requirements or technical requirements? Yeah, then it's product owner. And maybe if it's technical something, I don't know, refactor database, then it will be the ticket, task, story, whatever, from developer who will say like, we need to refactor, do something, enhance the solution. Yeah, then it will, but not for Scrum Master. So we can help, support somehow, but it's not our not our primary task, not the basics. So
okay, good. So let's pick the next one. So how you integrate a QA into the Scrum team, or do you have special QA sprints and teams?
No, if it's cross-functional team, but like a Scrum, the quality assurance should be inside each sprint. Otherwise, it should be the part of definition of done. Then in the end, you deliver increment together, so compliant to this definition of done, so together with quality. Otherwise, how can you go to production in the end of the sprint? Potentially even, if you don't have quality. So you need to have some quality assurance. It's different question if it's a separate person or you do it, by developers, but it should be inside. Rafael, how do you do it? What do you do you think?
So for me, it's the same perspective. So QA for me must be part. I have seen situations like they consider, let's do our deliverable here, the sprint, and then afterwards there is the testing part, let's say, and it's a different story. But from my experience, it never worked very well. So for me,
what's the point?
Yeah, so for me, QA is part of the team. Of course, people are sometimes asking, but what is QA doing in the first and second day of the sprint? And
writing test cases, what is he doing? Writing test cases of, if this is automation, then you can write this test, integrational test, whatever. So for Jenkins, for something. So
exactly. Good.
There is a lot of work always.
Yes. So guys, we are running out of time, so I would say we can take one more. So
let's do.
See which one.
Or Stephanie, how much time do we have? We can ask.
Can we have time for one more, or are we over already?
Let's take one more, and that's it.
Okay, let's do.
Okay, let me find the next one here. Most of them. Okay, so what to do if most of the team votes against a best practice, for example, unit testing?
Why do you vote for that?
Good point.
Guys, it's a bit cheating, of course, but how you ask your child what he or she will eat? Do you ask, will you eat or not? Of course, no. Or do you ask, you will eat soup or candy? Of course, candy, Then how do you ask? Soup or porridge, or soup or vegetables, then this should be the choice. We do 70% of unit testing, or 80 as it should be, or 90 or 100, and then team says, 100 is too much, let's do 80, like standard. Like specify, think about the choice which you give. Otherwise,
very good answer. Okay, so I guess Steffi, we need some time for you, right?
Would be great. I mean, it's awesome to see how many participants we have asking so many questions. This means that definitely we will need like a second session, which by the way, we're going to have our second event related to Agile next month, but let's get into that topic later. Guys, thank you so much. It was so interesting. I enjoyed this session so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to have you again soon. I think we all here are expecting to hear you about what you are doing again, like in the next months, hopefully.